Up next on Valley News Live at 10, hundreds out of a job as a service agency countless people rely on shuts its doors. Plus, a new bump in the road in the COVID vaccine rollout and horrific new details as more comes to light regarding the Capitol riots. Valley News Live at 10 starts right now.
This is Valley News Live at 10.
Tonight, nearly 300 people are out of work at Lutheran Social Services of North Dakota. The nonprofit announcing this afternoon that it's shutting its doors and ending programs that have helped many in need. As Valley News Team's Courtney Lockie found out, financial struggles prompted the move. She's live tonight with more on this story. Courtney?
Mike, I talked with CEO and President Bob Otterson today, and he was very emotional. Right now, he says the most important thing is making sure that they get help for their staff and that they find new homes for all the people they were serving. After a century of serving families in need, Lutheran Social Services is closing its doors. We're told it's been a long time coming. Over the last decade, LSS has been financially supporting a program that gives homes to low-income families. They say this, combined with the pandemic, has taken a toll.
And those financial pressures have hampered the ability of this essential faith-based organization to serve its clients.
Nearly 300 staff members have been laid off, and several programs serving the community will disappear.
Retail businesses you have seen can close overnight. A human services agency cannot.
Some programs will close immediately. Others will take time.
The agency has a small number of programs that can just not be turned off because of the clientele they serve.
Programs for people who are vulnerable or at risk will continue in the short term until the agency finds them a new home. The Unaccompanied Refugees and Abound Counseling program topping that list. One more thing we asked about, the nonprofit relies heavily upon donations, state and federal funding. All of that money will be used to help them as they phase out. As to what will happen to that money next is still unknown. Live in Fargo, Courtney Lockie, Valley News Live.
All right, thanks so much, Courtney. To see the agency's full statement, check it out on our website or download the VNL News app. You can find this story on our homepage. A Fargo woman is behind bars tonight, accused in the death of her daughter. 37-year-old Brandy Adelke is in the Cass County Jail on a murder charge. It happened on November 20th along the 2300 block of 17th Street South. The family says the 15-month-old was horribly abused and tortured, burned with chemicals, given alcohol, and raped multiple ways. Today, we spoke to neighbors who were shocked to find out what happened next door. There's more on this story on our website, valleynewslive.com. More than 12 million doses of the COVID vaccine have been administered in the United States. But the CDC says the number of recipients is actually lower, since more than 1 million people have received both shots, meaning they've taken up 2 doses for one individual. 7 million of the doses are from Pfizer and BioNTech, and the others are from Moderna. But other vaccine doses are lingering in freezers. And there's a new problem in the effort to get Americans vaccinated. An administration official says the new dosages that were promised have already been distributed. The revelation seems to contradict what U.S. Health and Human Services Secretary Alex Azar said last week. He said the administration would be releasing its entire supply to states rather than holding second doses in reserve. An administration official said there will not be a sudden surge in distribution numbers, as many had to be led to believe. Now many states have to alter their vaccine schedules. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz tweeted out when he heard the news that this is appalling. He says Minnesotans are sick of false promises from the Trump administration. After promising a surge of doses, the administration is now pulling out the rug from under our seniors, teachers, and every Minnesotan eagerly awaiting the vaccine. As of today in Minnesota, there have been at least 187,000 total vaccine doses given. At least 162,000 have had at least one dose. More than 24,000 have completed the vaccine series. And looking at North Dakota, the state has received more than 76,000 doses of the coronavirus vaccine. More than 52,000 have been administered. More than 41,000 residents in North Dakota have received the first dose. More than 6,000 have had the second dose. North Dakota's statewide mask mandate will end Monday morning. North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum making the announcement this afternoon, citing a downward trend in numbers, but he also pointed out that masks should still be worn.
We still strongly support mask wearing as part of the important work that we need to do to contain this virus and to maintain the strong position that we're in.
Meanwhile, state lawmakers are discussing legislation to end mask mandates for good. A small group of lawmakers have brought forward two avenues to strip away at the enforcement of a mask mandate in the future, either make the requirement illegal or expand exceptions. The House bill says any elected official or political entity would lose the ability to require face masks, shield, or other face coverings by order.
Tried the mask, let's ditch that now and let's look to some better solutions. And I'm not just condemning something, I'm promoting a build-up immunity program. So rather than mask up North Dakota, it ought to be build up North Dakota.
Hoverson's other bill would allow employees to get a doctor's note allowing them to not wear a mask or use religious, philosophical, or moral beliefs to not wear a mask. Some lawmakers who've spoken against other health orders are looking to end the state of emergency entirely. There's a hearing on the resolution Tuesday morning. North Dakota's Department of Health has been awarded $43.8 million in federal funding. These funds come through the CDC and will be used for increased prevention of COVID-19 spread, including surveillance, detection, and response to the virus.
We pretty thoroughly vet all the guardsmen that are going to be out here. It's kind of like know your customer, like a credit card agency. We know our guardsmen. We know our people.
As police prepare to beef up security ahead of Joe Biden's inauguration, federal prosecutors are formally warning about earlier claims that rioters were looking to kidnap and even kill members of Congress when they attempted to take over the U.S. Capitol. As Washington, D.C. and states across the country are on high alert for more violence, we're getting detailed accounts of what happened during the deadly siege. Nadia Romero is in Washington to explain tonight.
During the deadly attempted coup at the U.S. Capitol, police were outnumbered and overwhelmed.
Some guys started getting a hold of my gun and they were screaming out, kill him with his own gun. At that point, it was just like self-preservation. How do I survive this situation?
The violence dangerously close to Vice President Mike Pence. According to the Washington Post, the rioters were just seconds away from potentially seeing the vice president.
We came very close to what would have been a lot of mayhem and death on the floor of the Congress.
As the investigation into the insurrection continues, a new security bulletin notes actors from Russia, Iran, and China are already fanning the flames to further their policy interests. And the days before the inauguration, thousands of National Guard troops patrol the streets of Washington, D.C., while states prepare for the potential of more violence.
We are prepared. We cannot allow a recurrence of the chaos and illegal activity that the United States and the world witnessed last week.
In Washington, I'm Nadia Romero.
With the recent civil unrest and ongoing personal and business safety concerns, more businesses and people might consider hiring security or protection services. In Minnesota, anyone who provides these services for a fee for anyone other than a direct employer must get a state license. Licenses from other states are not valid in Minnesota. The purpose in licensing is to increase the safety of the consumer and the public by ensuring these services are provided by qualified persons and companies. The National Rifle Association is filing for bankruptcy and will seek to incorporate the nation's most politically influential gun rights group in Texas instead of New York. The announcement made on the NRA's website comes months after New York's Attorney General sued the organization over claims that top executives embezzle tens of millions of dollars. Get your tickets out. Tonight is the night for the second largest jackpot in Mega Millions history. The winning numbers are coming up. But first, Hutch will be in with a look at a warmer weekend weather forecast and a look ahead to next week.